Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Tuesday topic here over on Patreon, which is good.
What's good over here on Patreon? Or
It's just good over here on Patreon, isn't it? Just sitting here on Patreon. I enjoy sitting here on Patreon.
Rather than over there.
I don't mind sitting over there on YouTube, but there's something special about Patreon.
Yeah.
That is so. It's more special, isn't it? It's got a warmer feel to it. It's just warmer, and you go in the comments and there's no dickheads calling you all kinds and calling you a ginger nun. Although I've seen a couple of people call me a ginger nun in the Patreon comments. No, just in the private messages. It's just nicer. It's just a more homely feel.
It is. It's a community.
It is a community. It feels like when you go to the match, and sometimes you go in a pub and it's full of Evertonians, but that's YouTube. But it's when you go in that little supporters club and everyone knows your name, a bit like Cheers.
I can't say.
That's what Patreon's like.
Cheers,
you go in and you can go in on your own, but you'll see someone, you go and have a drink with them. That's what Patreon is. Patreon. There you go, we've greased the wheels. It's the Tuesday topic, as I've already mentioned.
As you mentioned, yeah.
As I've already mentioned.
Over here on Patreon.
Over here on Patreon. The community club.
Just make sure that we were still here on Patreon.
Still a drink.
Yeah.
European football.
Oh, yes. Now I'm looking forward to this.
What, European football or this discussion?
Both.
Okay, well we've got
just your stance.
I suppose.
Theresa May.
I'm a little teapot.
After the gift last week, just keep our arms and legs and everything else. Like a roller coaster in America, please keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle. Just keep them inside that shit.
I suppose. Listen, we've been mentioning this loosely over the last few weeks, and certainly the win last week against Crystal Palace put us in touching distance of a European place. Now, listen, of course, 7th place. We don't, we could get it, we might not get it, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we've got whatever. But obviously this weekend was the FA Cup. The draw came out, and the prospect,
the hot balls,
the prospect of 4 teams from the top 5 is still very much there. And obviously if that happens, then like last season, it will guarantee European football going to 7th, the way everything's dropping in again. So therefore the chances are there. So therefore it's worth having the discussion, because like everything else, I suppose, we have these conversations privately, and then you see the build up and it hits social media, and then it's like Now a few weeks ago we probably mentioned it, and I was dead against it.
You were dead against it on the final word last week.
Was I though?
Yeah.
Was I though?
If only there was a way to check.
So, without making this the debate, because it isn't the debate, because I'm not gonna sit here and go, I am absolutely sure that. Well, I'm sure Mangala's rubbish, so I know that. And he's got shoestring knees, but so Baz, come on, give me your view on it. Give me your stance.
My take hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't changed. I just want it. Yeah, just want the stance.
Unlike yours. No, I'm of the opinion that we need to be in it every year.
Okay.
I look at it. What have we ever done in it? We haven't done anything in it, really, have we? We generally get out the groups, other than this year. When it's been a group, we've kind of got out of it the last few times, and then we've gone out the minute we've met someone half decent. But those gaps, or not. Well, Kiev were half decent. Fiorentina were half decent.
They were half.
That's what
half decent.
But all of those other years in between, where have we been? Nowhere. And I just think the only way that we ever learn, the only way we're ever going to learn is through experience, and the only way we're ever going to get experience is by playing in it year after year. Like the way Spurs used it, Spurs were in it every year and never won it, but now you look at them and you see them, and I watched them last week in the Champions League at Juventus, absolutely dominating a game against Juventus in Juventus. Unbelievable performance, because they know how to play. Now I understand the negatives of it, certainly what's been levelled this season is the early start, blah de blah, the pre-season disrupted and all of that. But I level that fully at Ronald Koeman. I lay all of that blame at Ronald Koeman's door, 100% of it at Ronald Koeman's door, because we kind of knew early last season that 7th, when I say early, a few weeks to go of the season, we knew that 7th place.
Well, March, wasn't it?
Something like that. I remember
this time last year, wasn't it?
I remember we beat Leicester at home, and that was more or less, we were more or less there.
As soon as we beat West Brom.
Or West Brom. So we kind of knew what was coming, and yet he didn't plan accordingly. And when he did plan, it was all moaning, we've got to start early and we won't be there, and all of that. And I suppose my fear, but a bugbear of mine, is these people that go, we can't handle 3 games a week. Well, what are you hoping for? Are you hoping for the club to be successful? Because if you are, you've got to learn how to play those games. People say I'd rather be in a Champions League. Is that not 3 games a week? Don't give me Thursday, Sunday either, because it's the biggest load of absolute nonsense you will ever hear in your life. No different than Wednesday, Saturday. So all of the things, the negatives that people bring out, I dispute.
Okay.
There's my stance so far.
Okay, that's fair enough. My fear recently was that the club were in such a mess that it would need a... Yes, there is children outside shouting.
Yeah.
Oddly. We were in such a mess that we needed a summer of no distractions, and right. that and with it being after a World Cup as well, my opinion was that we need, and obviously this is the other thing, we don't 100% know what's going to happen in the summer in terms of management, in terms, of
course.
So that's my worry, or that was my fear, that a European qualification would cause damage that didn't need to be didn't need to be already there.
Okay.
We need for me, we need a summer where or a pre-season where it's really organised. We knuckle down. We give the players we signed last season a chance to bed in again. Whether it's Sam Allardyce or whether it's someone else, get into a rhythm of a defined way of playing with defined players. Now, I suppose one of the things that is slightly changed my mind is I'm actually starting to see a defined set of players now, so that's not maybe such a bigger deal, and maybe that's loosened my stance a little bit on it. But I do think that we need that summer of stability. But that in mind. Well, let's just go back to last summer. Last summer, like you just said, we qualified, and then for me the big problem was that we treated the qualifiers like pre-season games. But the problem with that is the opposition didn't treat them like pre-season games. So both teams we played, Rosenberg had already started the season, hadn't he? So they were, fitness wise, they were a lot sharper, and that gave them that little bit of a chance. And they took that into both games, and obviously we won both games 1-0. But both games were massive for them, massive games, playing Premier League team. As much as we undervalue ourselves at times, to other people we're a Premier League team, and whether we're a big name or not, we're a Premier League team, and that carries weight. So they threw everything at us, and I think that destabled us. In terms of, because we were sitting here, and I said it myself, that game for me was harder and bigger than the Split game, because it was almost about not getting through. It was about avoiding the embarrassment of not losing the game because of how much money we'd spent. Because we'd seen West Ham the year before, or a couple of years, on the run where they couldn't get through the qualifiers, and there was a stigma attached. Or they'd spent money and they were going to be there. Now we just had that big summer of spending all that money, and it was almost like we would become a laughing stock, which that came afterwards, if we didn't get through. And I think that might have got to some people at the club as well, that were like, hang on, you've bought all these players, you've got to get through no matter what. And I think that unstable the club a hell of a lot, to the point where they were just focusing on getting through, and almost like nothing else mattered. And so I mean, I suppose that's what we need to learn from, isn't it?
It's about planning. Again, it's all about planning now. Yeah, it was pressure. It was, you know, we didn't want to, like you say, the money we'd spent. We had to get through, but the pre-season wasn't right, and it wasn't right from a management point of view. And again, for me, the worry was he played everyone for like 55 minutes in games. So once that hour was up, they were knackered. It wasn't like there was 11 lads that played the 90 minutes, so you knew that they were fit, and then these other ones who played an hour were your subs for the last 20. And it was disjointed anyway, and I don't think he took it as seriously as he probably should, Koeman, in terms of how you plan it. Now, for me, looking ahead, we've got a lot of lads who played in our first team this season that are good players, that could easily go and negotiate those games without your preferred Premier League 11, if you like. You know, Adam Ola-Luckman, you're playing all of these games. You're in, you're staking your claim. Davy Klassen again, maybe. You know, whatever. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, maybe, if Tosin. Cenk Tosin, if he hasn't played. Yeah. There's players there who, you know, you'd look and you'd go, Seamus Coleman, he's nailed on for the first team. And you'd go through, that's it, Garner, nailed on for the first team. So we wouldn't play Theo Walcott, no. So for that first two-legger almost, particularly the away game, you can play your kids, and Callum Connolly coming back in from Ipswich, he's had to see Kieran Dowell coming back in from Forest. Those boys should be good enough to play in a formation. And you know what gave me hope, real hope? Lima Soloway. Now people can turn around and go, they were shite, so were Hughes and Berrock. Yeah, they were. So were fucking Hadjuk Split, if you're honest. They weren't great. No. And we beat them with a team that wasn't fit, that we just dropped people in.
Do you think at the time there was a lack of confidence in playing these teams because of what rested on it? I mean, look at Arsenal this year, right? And they've gone into the group stage, so they know they're guaranteed a certain amount. And I suppose Man United were the same this last year. When you go straight into the group stage, you stop almost worrying. You go, well, if we win 3 games, we're through. It doesn't matter. So you can play that mix of squad players and younger players, which Arsenal have done this season. Negotiated the group stage very easily. It almost like built up as the season built up. Do you think that Koeman didn't have enough faith in maybe the younger players, like Tom Davies, like John Joe Kenny, you know, or Adam Ola-Luckman, and said in those first games? Because I know Luckman played and stuff, but what I mean is, it's just going, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, it's just like saying, well, you know what, lads, just I trust you'll be good enough to beat these, and you know, without disturbing other things that what are going on.
I just think the way it was almost use the Limassol thing as a perfect example, right? We were coming into a derby game, which was massive, and we you know, Sam Allardyce had only been there a couple of games. We had Limassol away, and we were talking, going, oh, we didn't need this game in the middle of this because of the context of the league. And so, lo and behold, mostly kids went out. Okay, Morales, Klassen, Sneijder played, Luckman.
But that shows you.
Right, but that was a mix. We had Morgan Feeney, centre back. We had Fraser Hornby, the kid that never played a game, up front, leading the line for us. You know, Benny was in there, another kid who could go in and do the job quite comfortably. You know, there was players there who were able to go and compete. What's wrong with doing your pre-season, right, 1 to 11 here, you're going to be going and playing this game. This is basically my first team. This was where the manager might fit in. You know, if it's Sam Allardyce, say, don't all throw your cups at the screen. If it's Sam Allardyce next season, he will know basically that's my 1-2-11. Yeah, so everyone else is trying to wrestle the places off these lads here. So everyone else who's trying to wrestle those places, you're basically going to be the team that plays that fair. You see, I've got no issue with playing Wayne Rooney at home, you know, Seamus Coleman at home, whatever, for an hour, 70 minutes at Goodison in the first leg or second leg. But away from home, none of them lads should be anywhere near it. Training, Finch Farm, bang, bang, bang. Sam Allardyce doesn't really have to go. He can, but he doesn't have to go to an away leg of it. Craig Shakespeare took it and Duncan Ferguson went to Limassol, won 3-0. It was our best result, our only win. You know, so those lads that played that night went away. We had Harry Charles, he was an attacking midfielder playing left back, was outstanding. Because there's good players in our under-23s, there's good lads in that little mix between the two. Like you say, in the summer we'll have Kieran Dowell back from completing the season in the Championship. Callum Connolly was excellent again for Ipswich at the weekend. Back. Anthony Robinson, who's playing for Bolton regularly now. There's 3 kids who are in. Tyus Browning, whatever happens with him, but he'll have had a majority of the season. And Matty Pennington's another one, unless he gets sold, who's had a majority of the season in the Championship. But these lads have played league football for a year. Add to that Mason Holgate, who's in and out. You know, someone like Funes Mori, who we don't know what's going to happen with him. You know, there's played. And what about Jagielka? If Phil Jagielka will be 30, just let me finish. If Jagielka's 35, if he's next season's going to be number 4 centre back, he'd be perfect playing in these games.
Well, I suppose another thing is that in those games you had the likes of Klassen and you had the likes of Sandro that no one really knew, and Rooney as well. Yeah. So you had these players again coming into the team,
new players
into a way of playing that they didn't necessarily know.
Neither did we, unfortunately.
And also we didn't have a striker.
Yeah,
we hadn't replaced a striker, so we're asking Dom to do all that work. So we never helped ourselves, really, did we? Because we were like I was saying before, we treated them like pre-season games, but we didn't, because you can't treat a game that has got a competitive edge to it like a pre-season game, because you can't ask people to start sort of learning how to do something. You know, a game is a game when it's in a competitive way. You can't start sort of coming up with like all these ideas halfway through or asking people to get to know each other, because the opposition won't allow you to do that. In a friendly, yes, because the opposition, in a friendly game, the opposition are going to make loads of subs and you're going to make subs, and they're going to tinker halfway through and they're going to look at different players and all the rest of it. But in a real game that's got real stakes, that for the opposition team, if they can get to that European group, that's going to mean a lot of money for them and a lot of prestige, and they're going to get to go to travelling around Europe and all the rest of it. That's really important for them. And if you're just like, lads, get through it, but trying to treat it like a game to settle people in as well, that is going to disstable, you know. And I think that's what it did for us. And what you've just said, right, mate? If we'd gone in and gone, Klassen's not playing, Rooney might play an hour, Sandro not playing or whatever, and then we go with we try and play as many of the players that finished the season.
If he'd have done that in the first leg, Rosenberg at home, with the fitness levels up, we'd have beat them 3. But what I'm saying is, sorry, just the other thing about it is, it's got negative connotations for some reason with people, the Europa League and what it does. But what's wrong with us finishing as high up as we can? If that's European qualification, fair enough, for 7th. We go to those pre-season, we get into the pre-season, yeah, it's an early start, I get it. We play the kids, we get knocked out,
Yeah.
We still have our pre-season, but if we get knocked out of that, we're out.
Well, that's
the way it is.
I mean, that's the way that's what I was sort of going to come on to, is how we approach it. I mean, just not that, but, you know, what would you do differently from last summer if we had European football, you know, when we had to start on the same date this summer?
Well, early on, I'd like to think, if it's Sam Allardyce, obviously this changes if it's a new manager.
But what if it's you?
No, if it's me.
No, what I'm saying is, if it's you, you're in charge, right? What would you do?
Season finishes, I'd know roughly my 1-2-11 for the Premier League, okay? There'd be a few variables, of course, with form and with maybe a formation change. So what I'd be planning immediately is, like, we kick off, we're coming back 1st of July, whatever it is, it'll be early July. 3 weeks later, we've got a game. So obviously we're going to get you all as fit as we can early on. But within about a week, we're playing games. We're playing games now, okay. Some people will say, well, that's too soon. But in other countries, they play games straight away. And some play 3 days on the run. And you mix and match it. And that's how you get fit. You don't get fit by, oh, we'll do this training and then we'll have a rest and we'll play the odd game. It's no good. More games, the better. So I would have games. And if we were playing Austria-Vienna in the first 2-legged game, I'd say, right, there's the cut-off. Right, you're going to Austria with whatever. Now, if I'm going with you, fair enough, like, you're staying back, Ped, you're taking all of the other lads here who I think are going to be in my first team, and you're playing Chester on Thursday and you're playing Shrewsbury on Saturday. They beat those games. And the kids who don't get on in that away game are going to Shrewsbury with you on Saturday, and that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to almost have a game every 3 days. So that our levels come up. But I'm going to be trusting it. For me, I'm going to be trusting in the kids. So if it's Stecklenberg, because I don't know what's up, Joe will go. So if it's Stecklenberg, he's in goal. So we know he's the keeper for the 2 games, or certainly the away game. He's the keeper. John Joe Kenny will be right back because Seamus is my first choice. Shagielka, I don't know. Funes Mori, say for argument's sake. You left by a left back first, but Anthony Robinson coming back in, or someone like that as the left back, or Callum Connolly back from Ipswich, he's my left back. So these lads have all got experience. Midfield, we're dropping in Schneidlin until we sell him, but someone like him with experience, and we're going to put maybe Tom in there. Well, if Tom's in the first team, we're going to put Benny Beningame in there because the kid knows how to play. And all of these lads are going to mainly have the experience. Kieran Dowell's coming in and he's going in, and that's how I'm doing it. And I'm doing it and going, right, we're travelling there now. This team should be good enough, and if this team isn't good enough, fair enough, but these lads will have played the game. And the lads like Wayne Rooney and Seamus Coleman and, you know, Garner and Chentoson or whatever, you're going to play at Shrewsbury and you're playing there, and because you're still getting fit, you're not going to go, this is a European game. Because I think what we done wrong last year was we had Rosenberg on a Thursday, so Wednesday was light training, then it was done. Played the game Thursday, Friday recovery day, no game Saturday, Sunday back in for training, because we got Rosenberg again on Thursday, so, and then we fly out on the so there was almost like a game, then a week, and then a game. And like you've just said, you're going in against a team that fucking wants to beat you. You're going in, you play, listen, at any level, any lad who's ever played, or girl who's ever played pre-season football, I don't know about you, I got nothing to be harsh with it. I'll play it, and I want to, the same devilment wasn't there of, I want to win, and it was just like, I'm getting fit here, and the changes and all that. And so Everton players in the pre-season will play that game, and then it'd be like warm down, cool down, you know, bit of training Sunday, Monday, we're travelling again Tuesday over. Oh, it's like a pre-season game again, this, you go in, you're up against lads who, like you just said, it's almost like the livelihood depends on it. Can we get us through? It's only 1-0 if we were all saying after that Rosenberg game, they get an early goal with their crowd, like, fucking hell. You know, and Pickford was great, and it didn't come to that, but, you know, we still needed the Calvert-Lewin goal 10 minutes from the end.
Because there was a feeling of, especially against Rosenberg, there was a pre-season feel about it. It was all going
home game.
It was all going through the motions, and the crowd was flat. Whereas you're right, that's exactly what I'd do. You know, I would. There's a World Cup, obviously, so you're going to be missing players. Ghana, maybe Walcott. You know, Pickford. You know, and a couple of others, but not loads. Sigurdsson, not loads. And I think it'd be different this summer as well, anyway, because you're not bedding in as many players. I mean, last season we're trying to play these games. We've got Keane, you know, we've got Klassen, we've got Pickford, we've got Rooney, we've got Sancho, and we're trying to play them all as well. And you're right, you know, pre-seasons has become this thing now, and it's almost like a glamour thing. And I was talking to someone yesterday about it on Twitter, and they were like, you know, I said this is what I would do, and they were like, would never happen. I was like, why would it never happen? Well, how could you play this many games, and who'd want to play against you? And it's all about playing glamour ties. Why isn't it that? Right, I remember like Bayern Munich used to be back in training and be like 2 days later we'd be playing like some no-mark from like the 10th league, and then 2 days later we'd be playing someone else, and every game would be a step up and build up and build up. build up. And you'd see like their first game we basically played in like some park somewhere, you know, with a roped off. There was no glamour about it. But it was what it was. It was pre-season. It was about getting those players fit, and that's exactly what I would do. I'd have a game. I'd have, like you've just said, I'd have just game after game after game just to build that fitness up, to get that competitive edge. I'd split my squad in half, like you should, like, you know, on like Moyes used to do. You know, I remember going to Port Vale on a Saturday afternoon, and you know, half the team were there, and the other half were at Bury, Andy Johnson and pitch invasions and all the rest of it. And it's not hard with the size of squads and how many kids you have pre-season as well. You know, you have like pre-season now. They have like 40 players. Like, you think about that last summer, we had loads and loads of players before, like Darl and that went on pre-season, went on loan, and you're playing 3 games, and like you've just said, you're giving players an hour, and then you're giving them like 3-hour games, and then you expect them to come to this game with a team are already playing competitive football, who've had their pre-season to go up against them, and talent will get you so far, but if you're not fit, like we've seen with players this season, how long it's taken the likes of Sigurdsson to get up to speed. You know, you're always fighting against him.
He could do his pre-season work, not having to play in these games, couldn't he, as well, and playing he played 45 minutes for Swansea, and it took him till the end of October before he actually started to look himself.
I think what went missing last season was the almost like, you know, there's a Premier League season, don't you, around the corner. They didn't ever feel like that was getting prepared for, and I think that comes from, as I said, the lack of confidence almost in just putting a team out and saying you'll be good enough, but also preparation, as we've said. You know, going and playing the game in Africa and then going to play 20 on a fucking rec pitch.
But that's fine, I've got no issue with that, but that was a Tuesday, I think, when we played them. We should have been playing the Thursday and the Saturday.
Well,
that's what we should have been
doing. For me, I mean, if you didn't
what was wrong with playing on the Thursday, playing a Dutch?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like if
you go to Holland on a let's say you go to Holland on a Tuesday and you play 20 on the Wednesday, why not play nearly everybody? No, why not play an 11 for 70 minutes, and then the next day play the subs in a game for 70 minutes and bring those other lads on for 20 minutes. I know there's all kinds of sports science and all this, but come on. And then, you know, do it almost like the next day as well, and or give yourself a break then.
Have a day's break and then play
again.
Or play on the Sunday.
You know, play. I mean, how many the season before we played that competition in Germany? We played on the Friday night and then we played on the Saturday. You know what?
And then would have been playing on the Sunday, wouldn't we?
You know, this is what you've got to do to get your players fit.
David Moyes, we'd go to that Austria training camp. They'd play the team at the end of the week, you know. And you'd beat them 3 or 4-0 normally, you know, and then you'd go off and play a more glamorous game, but you'd also always be playing Crewe or Accrington Stanley, and you'd win. And the other thing it does, right, you beat them 4-0 and Cenk Tosun gets 2 and you go, he's up and running, and everyone starts feeling good about themselves. All this glamour stuff is when you're settled at the top end of the league. It's great.
But don't forget as well, just talking about the glamour stuff, Moyes used to take them to America and not even be asked about games. Yeah. He was there because he said the facilities are the best. And you're training in the heat as well, which is what they're doing now. And you're getting a sweat and you're getting going and you're up and ready because your fitness levels are up because you're training in this
You're working
heat.
harder.
You're working harder. You're getting up there. You might play a couple of games, which is great. You know, especially, you know, look at Mahrez's first season. That pre-season set us up for the rest of that season. We played a couple of glamour ties, you know, Juventus and Real Madrid. Was it Valencia the third one? Was it?
Yeah,
in Miami.
Yeah.
You know, you're playing these games. You're playing in heat. Players are getting to know.
But he also come back and played Accrington Stanley. We beat them 4-1, didn't we, and things like that before we'd even gone to America. No, but that's what I'm saying. We played. The mix was there. There was 6 games, 6 pre-season games.
But what makes me laugh about that is we did that, right? We went to the States, and we were in a glamour tournament and we were sort of there by accident. Not accident, but we
pounced on an opportunity. That was what
Galatasaray dropped out, I think, and we jumped in because Moyes' brother is an agent, knew people who run the tournament, and we filled in, and it was brilliant. And maybe that opportunity won't happen again because that tournament's become a bit of a glamour thing on its own now. But that's fine. But you can still go out to the States and play against MLS teams or whoever, and just have a little thing of your own. It doesn't matter.
A few of those MLS teams have got USL teams.
Yeah.
Just so you could like, I remember
Swansea do it, don't they?
In fact, Newcastle got beat by Red Bull's USL team last year, but it was a game in the heat.
But the point is, you can go to the States. Let's just say you go to the States, and you can do almost what we've just been talking about. You can go there for a week, and you can play 2 teams every couple of days. There's lots of teams there. Into either being MLS or USL teams. You can play them, or you can play other foreign teams that are over there. You can just because you're in America doesn't mean you can't play someone from Germany or whatever. You set these things up. Just make that. See, that as going full circle. That was my issue. My issue was Europa League would get in the way of a good pre-season, and I think that's what we need. But I'm willing though. Okay, what I'm saying is, I'm willing if it's organised properly and it's done right, and it's not the be all and end all, right? Like you said before, it's remove the fear of losing and getting knocked out, and have confidence in your players that you will get through the team you put out.
The way I look at it, right, is taking all that into consideration. Of course, it isn't ideal. Of course, it's easier if there's no Europa League because you're just planning your pre-season and your Premier League game. But trying to move forward as a football club, and for us to move forward, we've got to get used to managing this kind of thing. We've got to. It's better for sponsorship. It's better for attracting players. If we finish 7th again this season, right? We finished 7th. We've done 7th the last 2 seasons. So, regardless of how the season's gone, if we end up 7th, people would look and go, well, that's probably about right. They're the 7th best side outside the top 6. That's what everyone was telling us. Start of the season, Everton with the team that was going to break into that top 6. So it was, it hasn't panned out like that, of course. But if we finish 7th, then we've done 2 seasons as being the 7th best side. You want that little bit of reward from it, but you want to be able to take that forward into next season and go. And people who go, no, we'll leave that, but why are we leaving it? We had the Europa League. No, but listen, we've had the Europa League this season, and we still managed to finish 7th. So what are we leaving it for? To try and get 6th? Well, we're not going to get 6th anyway, unless we get better players.
I suppose, though, the argument is, though, and this is where I was coming from, is that if you haven't got it, then you've got less games, you've got more preparation time, you've got the chance to start settling your team down.
But to do what?
No, I know. Ultimately. No, I know. But what I mean is, though, without the worry, that's what I'm saying. People are thinking, well, it's a distraction, and what we've seen in the last few years is, when teams haven't got the distraction, they have a good season, and it prepares them more long term. And I think that's where people are coming from, thinking it's almost like if you're not ready to do something, then it's going to cause you more harm than good. So that's what I can understand, and that's where I was coming from originally. But now I'm more open to it if it's done in the right way. But what I'm saying is that if you haven't got that distraction, then you can go from week to week, not having to worry about picking up as many injuries and not as much fatigue. And you're right what you're saying. You are gearing yourself up just to get into that Europa League anyway, or to try and get in the Champions League. But I suppose in a long-term way, you are settling players down to be ready for that. But I actually think that in a way as well, this season will settle us down for that, if that makes sense, because those players, a lot of the players people are writing off, I think this is the season that they're settling in. So people go Keane, Klaassen, even Sandro to an extent, which I don't think Sandro will come back, but Keane and Klaassen, if they've got the right mindset and someone who's prepared to give them a chance, Keane will get a chance, you would think. And I don't know about Klaassen, but Klaassen's attitude seems to be, I want to be and I want to work hard. So if the manager picks up on that and says, well, you know what, if you're prepared to work hard, actually Rooney's not going to last forever, and this has been your get to know a season, even though it's a season lost in a way. Let's turn that negative into a positive. Let's say this has been your bedding in season. Rooney's not going to last forever in that position. Can you play that position? And that you know, you've had that then, haven't you? You've had that bedding in season for him, for Keane. Pickford hasn't had to, you know, worry. Sigurdsson's now up and running. Rooney, we know what his best position. We know, like, you know what I mean, like all those little things, like where does Rooney play? We know what Rooney's best positions now. We know that. That's his default position. Anything else, it's not. We know what. We almost know what.
Anything else is a stop.
We almost know what Sigurdsson's best position is now. You know, all those things have found themselves out.
A lot of people said in the summer they might go backwards this year, Everton. We don't want to hear that. Because we want to think, no, we're moving in that way and we're going that direction, we spent all this money and we want to catch these. The reality is, when you look at it, those teams we're trying to catch are quite settled, aren't they? Even Liverpool are quite settled under Klopp. They gradually, just like you say, it's just a couple of players and they're getting better and better. Spurs are fantastic for me. Spurs are fabulous side. You know, Manchester United, even though we'd say, well, they're a bit shit, still always up there. So those players, that's what I'm saying, the level of player they have will keep those teams near that, and we're trying to catch them. But it was never going to be done, I suppose, in one fell swoop. Now, we might end up 7th. What that tells me is, because our players are better than everybody else's, the same way as why it was default that Liverpool will always finish in the top six because their players are better than it. Do you know what I mean? And then City because their players are better. And that's what it's about. You're right, it might be this summer 3 players rather than 9. It might not, it might be another 5 or 6 as we think, well, you know what, Baines and you know, the centre-back's got to go. But in general, 8 or 7 of that first starting 11 are established. Like Tom Davies should be established. We can't play without Tom Davies. So rather than going, oh, who can we get who's shinier and better than Tom Davies? Just go, Tom Davies plays. He plays. And then if we get a midfield player in who's another level to Tom Davies and is consistent, then Tom comes up and he has to fight his way back in. And he might take Garner's place or he might take Wayne's. Because that's how it should be. But it shouldn't be, you're all shiny and he's boss, but I don't care, you're going in and he's coming. Which is what Koeman did.
It's what happened, isn't it?
And
also, it was a case of, like, the classing thing is like saying, isn't like you're buying a player instead of going, well, I have bought 2 players playing the same position, but one of them's 23 or 24 and is 4 years from hitting his peak, and the other one, you know, is past his peak, but he's going to give us 18 months to 2 years, and we're going to sort of cross them over, and that almost that long term, like when we bought Baines. When we bought Baines didn't go straight into the team.
Baines couldn't get in the team.
Couldn't get in the team for a year. Left backs. Yeah, he couldn't get in the team for a year. And then he got in the team and he's never been out the team since.
Lescott, we had a centre-back playing in Baines' position.
And when we bought, you know, Moyes never did that. Moyes never went, well, I've bought you. You have to go straight in. But
again, though, Koeman didn't ever relay that. Koeman could have put a lot of this uncertainty to bed early doors. He could have gone, I've bought Davy Class and he signed a 5-year deal. So he'll be in and out this season.
But he wasn't in and out though, was he? He was in.
No, but I'm saying he could have protected himself, couldn't he? Could have protected Klassen, Rooney, but he didn't know where to play Rooney.
He didn't know where to play anything.
No, and that's
ultimately what cost us. I mean,
in the summer, you know, you're gonna have, hopefully, you're gonna have Onyekuru coming in as well as another quick player.
And that's why I suppose that's why we all want to start seeing a bit of Klassen is to go, well, you know what? Has this lad got a future with us? Can he start bedding in? Because I think obviously it's a lot easier to bed in if you're playing and you're coming off the bench and you're getting that chance.
And the other thing as well, don't forget, Klassen come in and people have judged him. I think he was involved in 4 of our first 5 goals, so he's got something. He was in the team when we were playing the best teams in the land for a start.
Yeah.
Right? Now, don't get me wrong, I've watched him and gone, I can see that there's something there, but for periods of games, he's running around like he doesn't, right? But that was also our worst part of the season. We were getting walloped by good sides, like you've just said rightly. There was nothing, that no one knew anything. Everything was it was just like, yeah, go and have a game. There was no pattern, so he was running around like, I'm a dick, I don't know where to go. And like you've just said there with the Rooney thing, go and play in that role. You've seen Rooney do it, just do that for me, do that bit. Don't worry about other stuff, just do that. Now the team's settled, if we win another couple of games, and everything's cool. Just let's see what we get now. Everything's alright, it's not big mad pressure. Go out, lad, run around, get involved. What have you got? Can you compete? Can you stay there? We've also now got a kid up front who you can play a ball through, and he's in because he's fucking lightning. You know, in Walcott, we've got this lad better, and all of a sudden he's coming back in to a team that's settled with players playing well and going, oh god, this is so much.
And also the other thing with Klassen, without going off on a big Klassen, we could do a Klassen video on our own, couldn't we? Is that it's that lasting impression of him. Do you know what I mean? This is something we spoke about. I think we spoke about last week, didn't we? About Moyes, and if you were in Moyes' team, you would stay in, and you would. But it's like Sigurdsson, isn't it? There was times this season. I mean, you said yourself, you were a bit like, I'm not sure what this lad gives us.
Not at all.
But now you can see it. I'm not saying every week he's a 9. No. But he's starting to get sevens.
He's a hard worker every week.
But he's starting to get sevens every week, isn't he? Yeah. And that point about that is that he has worked his way through. So your impression of him now is literally your last game, but he played well. Yeah. Played very, very well against Palace. That was his last game.
The impression of Klassen's last game was he done well.
No, I know, against Limassol. He was great against Limassol, he was.
Which is mad.
No, I know.
He's not even been worthy of 20
But the point is, for a lot of people, the last memory of him is him struggling in games. And he hasn't had that chance to build through. And that's fine, because that circumstance, there had to be almost like a cut-off line where, and I've said it myself, Unsworth was basically when, I don't know you and you, I know them and them, and I've got to use that cut-off line. And Allardyce did the same thing. He just went, I don't know who you are, I know who they are, and I can work with them, but I don't know who you are. And that's, sorry mate, you're just going to have to go over there for now, while I deal with these, while I sort this team out. And I appreciate that, I understand that, but that's now where I want to start. That's why I didn't want to see Lookman go on loan, and that's why I didn't certainly want to see Klassen go on loan. Sandro, I was a bit like that, because I just never, for a long time, I just don't think Sandro buys into any of it, and just like, I'm happy to sit on my arse, then I'll go back to Spain. I almost feel like that was always the plan. Just buy the out.
Well, I think he probably thought it was going to be easier than this.
But what I'm saying, going back to the same about Klassen, is that I'd like to think that he will get hopefully if we hit that magic 40-point mark, he will start getting a couple of chances off the bench now and again, playing him in games, certainly home games. If Rooney, is not feeling up to it or whatever, try him in that position. You've got your team now. You've got your team.
And you've got Davis.
You know how it plays. You know how it plays. Tom's doing. I mean, let's be honest. Since Walcott's come in, it's just gone. The team's just gone. Bam, 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 bam. It's just all fallen into place. Because now there's an outlet. And because Seamus is back as well. So suddenly all fell into place, and Baines will come in at left back, and suddenly you're starting to get that structure of a decent team. So you can go, well, you know what? We can take Wayne out of this game, or we can take Tom out of this game and see if Klassen works in there, because all those other things are starting to work. Okay, it's not all perfect. I'm not saying it's perfect. The defence is still all over the gaff, but that might get better because Baines comes in. So I think those things will help. A European campaign next season, because those players now, as I said, have settled a little bit more. It'd be nice to see Keane get a run of games now. Yeah, I mean that would help by having a fucking partner. But if he could settle,
one of them's out the question for the rest of the Mangala.
It seems that way, yeah. But if he can settle now and get a partner for the rest of the season, be food tomorrow.
Hope well be.
And you start to see those players get a run, and that's exactly what we need to take into next season. And we might look at this season. Who's to say we don't look at this season in a year's time or in 2 years' time and go,
say thank God for that season,
and go, you know what? That's exactly
what blessing in the
That's exactly what those players needed. They all needed to settle, and thank God he didn't get rid of Klassen, because now he's fucking tearing it up and is sitting in that hole, and it's like the next Ericsson or something. No, I don't think he'd be that, but you know what I mean. Like, he's now become a really good player. Because
the other thing with him, in fact, we'll do a Klassen video. Yeah, we'll do a Klassen video
at some point.
Yeah. In a minute.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I just think, just to finalise it, I just think we need to be in it, because I think it just keeps the momentum going, and I think sponsors, and that's good for them. I know it's not the Champions League, but that's my opinion.
I'm going to say right now, get in it, right? Because we want to finish 7th, and just treat it like it's not the biggest thing in the world. But have confidence in your players that you put out, that you go, you know what, lads, you know these, as long as we're organised, we'll be alright. So it doesn't matter that
Imagine if we'd have had Nias last season in those, we'd have won the games comfortably. Garbutt, Nias, we'd have won those games
kind of players,
comfortably, we'd be through.
Exactly.
We'd have been through comfortably.
Even someone like a Funes Mori, you know, if he hasn't got the injury, you know, those kind of players, all there, just
the experience.
This is your team, lad. Listen, you know, we're getting fit. You know what? We're over here. We're in Italy. Let's take, or whatever. We're in Croatia or whatever. Let's take the other 20 lads down the road to play fucking FC Jizz on my face or whatever. I don't know.
Be a tough game.
FC Jizz on your face.
That is a tough. You don't want them, mate.
They're always in your eyes.
You don't want them, mate.
No.
The salty fuckers. You don't want them because they get all up when you grill. They're bad.
Depends what they've eaten.
Bad stuff, you know.
Love
pineapple.
Love pineapple.
I was going to say, if you had pineapple, apparently you're alright.
But who's to say you can't do that? I mean, probably. Do you know what though? There's probably some UEFA regulation that probably stops you from doing that.
Well, just.
Who's to say you go?
Just plan it properly.
Do you know what I mean? Who's to say you don't get some team?
FC Jizz on your face.
You don't get them in Europe. But let's just say you get a team and you go, right, we're playing them next week, so let's go next week, have a training camp in that country, right? Turn up on the Saturday, work in that heat or whatever, play, you know, someone on FC Jizz on your face on a Sunday with some players. Then on the Tuesday you take the players who didn't play and the players who are not going to play, and you play someone else. You know, and then you play the game on a Thursday.
Plan the game.
Plan a proper pre-season and treat the game with respect, and stick a team that you think is good enough to win. Like, you know, like whatever.
I don't mind us playing teams we beat 5, 6, 8, 9-0 just because it's shape and everything. Yeah. You know, teams like you've just said
matter,
before.
Does it?
Teams have done it. The foreign team, Bayern Munich, like 11-2.
AEK teabag though.
They're tough.
No, they are. It's tough one. Get right in your face. No. Right in your face, they do.
Teabagging's just not. You don't want that in a pre-season. Not in a pre-season. No. It's hot.
No. There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
If Allardyce win, if we win, like 7 of the final 11 games, though. What are you thinking?
That's another video. Again, stop cross-pollinating.
What, like FC Jizz on your face? That's. Yeah, let us know in the comments.
I've just got visions of Sam in the summer with all the new training gear on.
And his EA7
EA7
Emporium Armani cap on.
There must be a lost property box somewhere at Goodison, mustn't he?
And he's just
gone through it and gone, I need a cap.
I reckon it was in the hotel with the stay.
I need a cap.
Mr. Allardyce, lost property, is this yours? And he's gone, pints of wine.
I was going to say, imagine a lost property box in like a Dubai hotel.
Imagine. Okay, no. Keys.
A spaghetti?
Fucking car keys.
Right, let us know. That's a completely different. That's a completely different.
An Armani hat, a pint of wine, and some car keys.
Car keys are a completely different lost property box. What you could have won. FC teabagging. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on European qualification. Do you want it? Do you not want it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. The wonderful community of Patreon. Comments of Patreon. See you later.